Hello and welcome to the United Stand. We're going to start off with Jose Mourinho. Many of you asking me yesterday about what my thoughts are around Jose Mourinho's reaction to the press conference yesterday. Quite interesting ones that actually I think he was quite angry in relation to some of the things that have been put to him. And I suppose as Manchester United fans, that is why the comments were so disappointing, because we all do back Mourinho and we obviously want to defend him against the press that will now jump on those comments about him wanting to leave, but probably didn't help himself that much. But I think it is time to, well, I think many of us do back him anyway, just needs to be careful about the things he says and not undermine Manchester United and the fans who back him. But one thing I do want to say first of all is, and this was on the United Stand Twitter account last night, so I must say, you know, even the United Stand Twitter account gets it wrong. I saw a lot of people last night saying, oh, look at Spurs against Real Madrid, that's how you play against teams away from home, tight and compact when you've not got the ball, expansive and fast when you have got the ball. That's brilliant from Spurs and Pochettino. Mourinho should take a note out of that book, because the way we play away from home is really defensive and boring. And you know what? I watched the Spurs Real Madrid game last night. I did a watch along on That's Football, and obviously I watched the United game against Liverpool. And to be honest with you, with a tactical head on and looking at the way both teams approached the game, there was very little difference between them. Apart from it worked really well for Spurs and it didn't work well for United, who did come across as negative and boring. But the reason for that, if you look at what Llorente and Eriksen did yesterday in feeding Harry Kane on the counter-attack, I mean, Llorente's not particularly quick, neither's Eriksen. The problem with United on Saturday, as we've said so many times, is they didn't park the bus, they just didn't utilise, and well, Mkhitaryan was obviously massively at fault himself, but we did not utilise our number 10, which we had on the pitch on Saturday with Mkhitaryan. I mean, obviously I don't need to go on and get about it again, he was shockingly bad, but we didn't use him. We didn't use him, he didn't use the ball, and if we had done, then United could have been running at Liverpool's back four exactly the same way Spurs were running at Real Madrid's back four. It just didn't work out. So I don't agree with that negativity around the Liverpool game. It didn't work. We played shockingly badly, our number 10 didn't turn up, but we still got a point. And as for Liverpool winning 6-0 last night, or was it 7-0? I think it might have been 7-0. The day they actually beat somebody, I'm actually in the Liverpool cave at the moment where they'll sit and shout 5 times. The day Liverpool actually beat a team that people know where they're from, come on, honestly, do you really know where Maribor are from, is the day that we might have to listen and take note of them, which that's never going to happen. But let me talk about Jose Mourinho's press conference from yesterday then. A lot of anger from Mourinho, definitely, very evident in it, that he basically said, look, as things are, I'm not going to PSG, I'm not signing a new contract because there isn't one to sign. The only reason I said I won't finish my career at Manchester United is because I want to manage for a minimum of 15 years more, and there's no way I'm going to be a manager of Manchester United in 15 years time. The only manager who's close to that at the moment is Arsene Wenger, and he'll be the last of a dying breed really in relation to managers who stay at a club for a long time, which to be honest with you is absolutely correct from Mourinho. I mean, look at the way that football's changed over the last 20 years. I mean, look at Shakespeare getting sacked yesterday, or even more in relation to Leicester, Ranieri, win the title, get sacked. In fact, and it's not just haphazard idiot owners of small clubs like Leicester. I mean, look at Chelsea. Abramovich has been there for many years, still sacked Mourinho after 4 months as champions, 4 months after, and that's the modern day, that's the modern game for you, isn't it? So I think Mourinho's spot on there, and if his intention is to manage for 15 years more, the likelihood of him being Manchester United manager in 15 years time is probably quite slim. So he's clarified that one. He also said that, look, I'm not going to PSG, I've got a contract with Manchester United. I'm also not signing a new contract with Manchester United, effectively because, as he said anyway on Sunday, there isn't actually one on the table at the moment. So I wouldn't say he's provided clarity on his Manchester United future. The clarity is about as clear as mud, but he certainly came out fighting and frustrated yesterday. But I must say, he's brought it on himself, and he, you know, I don't know what, it wasn't a post-match reaction on Sunday, it was an interview I think with, I can't remember who it was, where the quotes came from, but it was certainly an interview. And look, we've got to back Jose Mourinho. This is our best start in the Premier League ever. We equals 2 of our best league starts ever. I know people will say, oh well, you've not played anybody that good, but the reality is you can only beat what's in front of you. We've not played all the relegation sides. I mean, Huddersfield on Saturday should be another 3 points. So, you know, it is what it is in relation to the start of the season we've had. It's been a very good one. The Liverpool one was very disappointing. I'm still very disappointed about the Stoke game because we just didn't turn up. But in relation to the season itself, it's been a good one. We've got the right manager in charge, and we do need to back that manager. I don't really buy into, oh, he's the wrong manager. The way he approached the Liverpool game, it's boring. Or, you know, he's arrogant, he puts himself first. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon at all. My only concern was what he said on Sunday I didn't like. And as Minnie says, United's bigger than anybody. And Rogvi says that Mourinho will be at United for a long time. It is quite dark today. It's starting to get darker mornings now. But yeah, I think Mourinho got it wrong. I think at clubs like Chelsea, and even Real Madrid, and certainly Inter Milan and Porto, you can come out and be the big I am, and like you can play games with the media to get what you want from the club. And I think he wants a new contract, and I think his comments about Paris and not being at United forever were all aimed at not allowing the board and Ed Woodward to become complacent, and I think that's what that was all about. But the flip side is, when you're managing a club like Manchester United, you're managing the biggest club in the world, you're managing the best fans in the world, and if you come out with comments that are derogatory to Manchester United, no matter who you are, you can be a fan favourite, you can be one of the best managers we've got. If you are deemed to be derogatory to Manchester United fans will, in the main, go insular and go back to what they know, and that is their love for Manchester United. And I think Mourinho just needs to be a little bit careful there, and hopefully, every day is a school day. Hopefully he will have learned his lesson in relation to that, and he won't do it again, because I don't really mind about him playing the board to get a better contract. But what I do mind is when he annoys Manchester United fans, because we back him a lot, hell of a lot. Actually, I quite like the lighting today. I think it's good. So big game tonight against Benfica. We'll be live at 6:45 with the team news, 6:45 UK time in the evening. Team news right the way through till full time. Got a really good sort of United stand sort of game we can all play actually tonight. That'll be good. I think United will win comfortably tonight for many reasons. I think one, we need to bounce back, and two, we are much better than Benfica, and three, I still believe it. I don't know what a lot of you think. I still believe that if you had swapped Mkhitaryan for Mata at the weekend, we would have seen a United performance more akin to what we saw from Spurs last night, which was, in fairness, the perfect away performance. Defensively very tight, and then on the break you've got to be quick and expansive, and Spurs did it. And they didn't particularly use quick players, because Llorente's not that quick. They just worked it really well, Spurs, and I think United and Mourinho did try to do that. It just didn't work out, and sometimes that's the case, and it's ultimately doubly disappointing when you do that against somebody like Liverpool, who are your big rivals. So yeah, that was disappointing. It's on BT, yes. Christopher Simeon woke up early to watch the show, and 10 hours from now should be the match. Yep, 12 hours it will just be kick-off, mate. We'll just be 5 minutes in. Cool guy's not very well. Yep, wish you well, mate. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. A little bit of a bonus video for you today, just because the way things worked out. Wanted to watch Real Madrid Spurs last night, so didn't do the 8 o'clock show, but we're back up and running. The Mata video, somebody says, when's the Mata video? Hoping to get confirmation that we can put that up tomorrow. Be at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll do a live show and we'll incorporate the Mata thing. Shaka says, I thought Jose wanted to be here at Manchester United a long time. I think he does. I think what he said yesterday, Shaka, that was quite interesting, is that he wants to manage for 15 years more minimum. That's 15 years minimum he wants to manage, and what he's saying is he won't be at Manchester United in 15 years. That's just not the way of the football now. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but what I would say is it is probably quite a small percentage chance that he'll be at Manchester United in 15 years time, because he's bound to have a bad couple of years in that 15 years. And it's whether you can survive in the modern day with the social media, the press. And let's not forget, the one thing I would say is, let's get behind the manager now. He's clarified the comments. They're not that clear, but I think he was only ever saying it because he's frustrated with the board not offering him a contract and maybe not backing him totally in the market, which actually I agree with him both. I just don't think his comments came across the right way, because it isolated him a little bit from fans who back him. So we need to back Mourinho, of course we do, and let's not forget the press will always jump all over Mourinho. They don't like him, they will jump all over him, and we need to defend him against that press. But if he starts if things went wrong for Mourinho, even 2 or 3 bad results, the press are all over him. They tried to do it last year. So that's what he's talking about, really, is that it's very hard to survive when you have an inevitable blip of form, especially in a 15-year career. I mean, Wenger, how he survives, I do not know. He would not be manager at Manchester United, he'd been gone a long time ago. But yeah, interesting times. But ultimately, if you've joined a little bit late, just talking about Mourinho's press conference comments, and ultimately as well, a defence of Mourinho. I like Mourinho a lot, everybody knows that, but it is a defence of Mourinho because I don't like a lot. I mean, it was on the United Stand Twitter account last night, and the person who twittered it has been spoken to, that this whole Spurs performance yesterday from Pochettino in against Real Madrid was very, very good. But people saying, oh, that's how you play away from home, I hope Mourinho's watching. I didn't notice any difference between Spurs' performance yesterday and Manchester United's at Liverpool, apart from our number 10 was redundant, and Spurs' number 10s, which was Llorente and Eriksen, were very, very good, and they linked that defensive performance with quick attack. We didn't do that. If Mkhitaryan had had a good game on Saturday, you would have seen an away performance from Manchester United very, very similar to what Spurs did last night. And that's not Mourinho's fault. I think he should have subbed him at half-time, as I've said before, but it wasn't his fault in the first half that Mkhitaryan didn't turn up. And also, let's be fair, I thought Matic and Herrera defended quite well, but they didn't feed Mkhitaryan with good ball at all. So yeah, and as for Man City weren't that convincing last night. The bubble will burst. I don't think it will burst at the weekend. They're at home to Burnley. They've got a very easy October, but Man City's bubble will burst, and United just need to stay in contact. Huddersfield's a massive game on Saturday. I'm not saying we're definitely going to win it, but we need to. But tonight we deal with Benfica, and I think there will be a backlash from United. I will see you tonight at 6:45 with the team news. Join us on the watch along for that. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you all soon. And remember, back Mourinho.